Well, back in the shop, starting to lay out my fuel system. I got my fuel pressure regulator here. It's a bit overkill. I think this thing's good for over 1,000 horsepower. Got it necked down to 6 AN on the inlet and return. And I've also got this Holley 100 gallon an hour fuel filter, 10 micron. It's got 5/8 pipe fitting down to 6 AN on both sides. And I'm just gonna show you where I'm gonna mount that under the car. I kind of decided to put it up under the trunk here, kind of out of the way. It's in a goofy spot, but it'll be out of the way from the exhaust and everything. Found this is a 3/8 hole. This is here from factory. I put a riv nut in there, marked my other 4 holes. I'll put the other riv nuts in and I'll bolt this thing up. Something went up with the threads in this hole. I'll have to chase it with a tap and then start running stainless hardline. It'll be 3/8 stainless tubing all the way down the frame, probably in 2 sections up to the fuel pressure regulator. All right, I got my bolts in there, all 4 of them. I've got the AN to hardline fitting in the pump. Just gonna measure out and start doing my bends here. Want it to come down at about 5 1/4 inches or so. The 1-inch bend radius on the bender, plus the hard tube goes into the fitting 3/16 of an inch. So I'll do a 4.5 inch bend and we'll see what it ends up at. Well, I've got the tubing up in the vise here. Only got one hand to use, so couldn't videotape anything, but you kind of get the picture. It's 4.5 inches from the end to my mark, and this is a 5/16, or basically 1 inch inside radius on the bend, so that should give us basically 5.5 inches. All right, got the first bend mocked up. Just gonna measure from the center of the tubing. It's gonna be about 2.5 inches to the center of the tubing on the next bend. And that will be 90 degrees, not 90 degrees, but 45 or so, straight that way. All right, this is what it's looking like so far. Out of the pump, it's gonna go down to the floorboard, along the floorboard for a few inches, and it's gonna kick over to the frame rail. Frame rail will be here, so I'm gonna go 1 inch back and start the bend there, in line with this guy. And that should be it before I can use the old fuel lines as a template. All right, so you can kind of see how that's gonna go. I've got the old fuel lines hanging up there. Just gonna mark the first bend, and then I can use the old lines as a template until I get to somewhere under the passenger seat here, and I will terminate the lines there. And then I'll do another piece of hard line to the front so I can split it in half. All right, I've started to make the next bends. Made the first 2. I just put the bender on the old pipe and kind of showed me what angle it was going to be at. Marked the start of the bends on the new stainless tubing and worked out pretty good. I'll put it on the car and see what it looks like. It's not looking too bad. This will sit up higher. Let's keep going. Well, you can see how this is going. Just slowly moving along. started to just make marks up on the car here. All right, that's the feed line, first section. Pretty much done. We'll tie into another piece of stainless tubing somewhere here. And now I'll do the return line. Alrighty, I got the 2 long runs done. Return and the send line. Took about 3 hours. Second line was a lot faster. Just kind of followed the first one. Took me time. Next time we'll do the short pieces on the front. All right, I'm in the other shop here. Got some 3/4 inch aluminum bar. We cut some chunks of this. Drill some 3/8 holes. Cut it in half and make some mounts for the fuel lines. Stick this thing in the bandsaw here. Okay, so I'm going to cut these blocks 1 inch. Mark 2 spots for a 3/8 drill bit coming through this way for the fuel lines. And halfway in the middle, this will be 1/4 inch bolt up from the bottom, hold it to the car. I got the little deal in the old niter, and we will try to drill a pilot hole on this one, I guess. Okay, drilled a couple pilot holes. I'm going with the 3/8. Okay, couple 3/8 holes, that's the size of the stainless line. Turn on this side. Oops, that side. Drill a 1/4 inch hole, a 3/8 for some relief for the Allen head. We're just about done. And here's where we're at. Got 5 of them, cut in half. See, they kind of go on there and clamp the pipe. Look pretty rough, I'll clean them up. Radius that edge on the bench grinder. Sand the shit out of them on there. Make them look pretty. Well, you can see kind of where I'm going with this. Starting out with this piece. Cut them in half with just a cutting disc. That's all I had. And then just racing the edge. Half-ass on the bench grinder. And then finishing up with this sand wheel. Just stuck it to the workbench. Just working it back and forth. Smoothing it out. And then hit it with some Scotch-Brite. It's gonna look pretty good. All right, I got my first bracket ready to go. Just on the passenger side frame rail. Made a mark here and just gonna drill a hole, put one riv nut in it. This whole thing will bolt in there. Just give her a go. All right, that's kind of what it's gonna look like. Oh. Now just to do it 5 more times. Finish this piece up. All right, I got all my brackets made. These front two, I use the original holes from the original fuel lines. I just got a cut here. Figure out where I'm gonna bend to go over the subframe and up to the fuel pressure regulator. Next week's project. Right on. Well, continuing on the front side of the fuel system. See my fuel lines coming out there. Gonna have to go up and over the frame up to my fuel pressure regulator, so I just mounting this guy on the firewall so I know where I'm going. I just got it in with one screw so I can eyeball that it's level. And once I get that bolted in, I'll start bending some tubes. Okay, I got my 3/8 hole drilled. Another one of these guys. Oh, these are tough. Yep. That's all melted up. Those riv nut deals are the cat's ass. Way better than rivets or sheet metal screws. I'm gonna lift her up. We'll start bending some shit down there. Woohoo. Oh, back under the car here. Just eyeing up how I'm gonna get 2 lines to go through there. I think the outside's gonna go up, over. The joiner right there. The inside one is gonna go a little farther and up and straight through, and it will join up on one side. I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna try to kind of show you what's going on here. This one's kicking up and I gotta go 90 that way. Can't do this with 2 hands, but see what happens. Okay, I got the, I think that's the send line done. Went up 90 over, and I kind of ran out of space. I had to do a little kink up there. Might be fun to tighten it with the wrench. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Probably gonna have to take the body off the subframe to tighten these lines up. What a pain. All right. Next line, I'm gonna go a little further up. Just sneak it by right up here, I think. All right, so I got my bends done. Gone ahead and seated the collets on. See if I can get this thing to focus. Ooh. Yeah, these are some industrial hardline connectors I had around. These have they're actually a two-piece collet. Got those cinched on there. I'm gonna bolt everything back up and see how it looks from the inside. All right, that part is finished. Got all the mounts done. Lots of room. Come straight up the firewall, right into the fuel pressure deal. Only another 3 hours of work to go. Well, a few days later, a few more hours. Started at the bottom there, a couple 90-degree bends. Just made my way up. Borrowed one mount from the bottom. Finished her up. That's all the hard lines bent and in. I'll pull them all out, clean them out now. And then do the fuel tank project next.